everybody. Usually I time that better. Normally I time that better. Oh.
It's just sneaks up on you.
No, is this amateur hour?
Sneaks up on you.
Whoa. Cue the Jamaican music.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Am I Johnny Knoxville?
You Harvey Firestein. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knoxville.
I need to call my mother.
Hey, hi, everybody. Welcome to Knoxville. I'm Johnny Knox. All right. Jackass.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Shit. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to UFO Snap. Is that the right name? Yeah, okay.
That is the podcast that we currently find ourselves on.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. I'm driving the bus. Hold on, motherfuckers.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. This escalated quickly.
It did.
I was fine 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago? 5 minutes ago.
It might have been 5 minutes.
10 minutes ago, I was fine. I'm still fine, and I hope you're fine, and I'm happy to be here. Oh, boy. Okay. What's going on? So, since we last talked, there have been a congressional hearing that took place, but don't ask me what happened because it hasn't happened yet.
We bank episodes. Everybody does it.
Shocker. But you know, so if you don't know that it happened, go and look up what fucking happened, because it's either going to be awesome and then like, holy shit, right? Can you believe it? Oh, Jesus. Or it's going to be nothing and I'll be like, fucking told you.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? But, yeah, you know, so anyways, but we're not here to talk about that.
No,
Believe me, if something fucking, truth be told, let's be honest here.
Uh-huh.
If they had that meeting and something crazy came out of it, we would have had a bonus
emergency episode,
we did a bonus
like we
episode.
did with the three objects.
Yeah, with the
Chinese secret balloon.
With the secret balloons. Yeah. And yeah, so there it is. So unless we had one of those, which I don't know if we did or not.
We'll find out later.
To be continued. But today we're talking about not so much, well, sort of related, right? Because we're talking about UFOs and we're talking about military bases. And we're talking more specifically about incidents that happen. There's no secret that there's a connection between UFO sightings and concentrations of them and some sort of connection to nuclear devices, nuclear bombs, nuclear things. Right? Okay. So if you look up different nuclear bases, there's our military bases, there's generally speaking a lot of sightings
around them.
Weird shit that happens. And so today we're going to talk about a couple that stand out to me anyways. And the first one, we're going to go back, as we do on this show. We're going to go back and then we're going to come a little more forward, but we're going to go back. Our story begins in the early wee hours of March 16th, the day after my birthday, but I wasn't born yet. 1967.
67.
Going back to 67. 60s. Free love. Hippies. Sailors banging everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Good times. Hey. The dog. Anyways. Okay. It's one of those episodes, folks.
It's one of those episodes.
Sorry.
We'll get there.
In the early hours of March 16th, 1967, an unsettling incident unfolded at the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, which the Malmstrom Air Force Base is home to a series of intercontinental ballistic missile silos.
Oh my.
Or ICBMs, for short.
Yes.
These silos housed Minuteman nuclear missiles, which were key components of the United States' nuclear deterrent strategy during, of course, the Cold War. Now, the Malmstrom Air Force Base incident would later become actually one of the most compelling and widely discussed UFO incidences in history. I told you, this is a big one. This is a good one. Now, on that faithful night, reports started coming in from security personnel on the base, so military people, of strange lights in the sky. Now, some people described the lights as star-like, while others said they're more like bright, pulsating objects. Now, these identified flying objects seemed to be maneuvering in ways, of course, that defied conventional explanation.
As they do.
As they do! And they appeared to be hovering over the missile silos themselves.
That's alarming.
That is an issue. Yeah. So, okay. So again, I also like to always point out the couple of factors on these things, right? One, excuse me, I had to get a beverage. There we go. One, we're not just talking your drunk uncle in the back fucking yard.
No.
Like falling down thinking they're seeing an alien. We're talking military personnel, presumably somewhat vetted.
You'd think so.
You'd think so. Presumably somewhat trained, especially if
Definitely trained.
if they're security guard personnel. They're going to be trained observers. They're going to be, well versed in.
They would know what needs to be called in and what needs to not be called in.
Yeah, like they're not going to call in for a shooting star.
Yeah.
A fucking comet across the sky.
Right.
They're not going to fucking call that in.
A temperature inversion.
A temperature inversion. Bullshit. 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 So, these things were flying over the silos, right? And as the mysterious lights continued their flying around, something alarming happened. Okay. This is where shit gets fucking. This is where we take it from an 8 to an 11.
Oh my God.
Get ready for this. I'd like to point out, you can look up all this stuff. All right. These are all officially documented reports. So you can fucking look up the Malmstrom incident and see official military reports signed, sealed, delivered. Yeah, we're not just making this shit up. Where was I? Okay, this is where shit got crazy. So something alarming happened. The nuclear missiles at the Echo Flight launch facility suddenly went offline.
That's not good either.
Within seconds of these things, the missiles were rendered inoperable.
Uh-oh.
And their launch control systems indicated a no-go status. This unexplained malfunction sent shockwaves, obviously, through the ranks, as possible of wide-scale system failure or sabotage, of course, loomed around. Obviously, they're like, oh, fuck, what's going on?
Yeah.
So frantic efforts were made to identify the cause of the problem and restore the missiles to their operational status. Technicians dispatched to the silos to conduct a thorough investigation, and after several tense hours, suddenly, the missiles were brought back online. The investigation, however, failed to pinpoint any technical or human error that could have happened that led to the malfunction. In the days that followed, rumors circulated that the missile shutdown somehow was linked to the presence of the mysterious lights that were seen hovering over the base. Now, this theory was bolstered, of course, by testimony of several military personnel who claimed that have witnessed the UFO and the unusual behavior. Now, among the notable witnesses is this guy who comes up a lot on this. His name's Robert Salas. He was a former United States Air Force missile launch officer who later became a vocal advocate for UFO disclosure. Okay, guy came forward a lot, despite numerous inquiries and investigations by both military and independent researchers. Now, of course, no one can actually explain what happened, and no explanation was ever given by the government. Now, of course, the case remains shrouded in mystery, fueling speculation about potential involvement of aliens and such to this day. The Air Force Base story serves as a powerful reminder of the potential implications of the UFO encounters, of course.
Because this wasn't just a sighting.
No. This is a big deal.
Yeah. If the two things are connected, that they somehow switched off our defenses.
Well, the thing about the guy, that Robert Salas, is in his testimony, he said that he saw this thing hovering over our silos and actually saw a beam come down.
He saw a beam?
Saw a beam.
A fucking beam?
A fucking beam. Hey, Marge, I looked out the window there and I saw a fucking beam. A goddamn beam.
Switched off the nukes.
They switched off the nukes on us, Marge. Marge. How did they do that? They did it with the fucking beam, Marge.
It was a big beam.
It was a big beam.
A big blue beam.
Big blue beam. Marge. Yeah, so I think he said it was a red beam, actually.
Okay.
But
that makes it scary. Why is a red beam scarier? Because usually a blue, is that because of Star Wars?
Well, here's the thing about red. I mean, if you think about it, if you look at, if it's like a laser, right? Red is going to be your spectrum. Hotter. But it's, well, I mean, technically blue would be hotter, right?
That's true. But
I was just thinking light spectrum, right? Because you're getting to infrared, red to infrared, so that beam is the last point till we can't see anymore if they're going that direction. Just like if it was like purple, if it was going the other direction.
Okay.
So that science says that could have something to do with it. But my thoughts are, why would it make a light at all? If you know what I mean, like why would there be a light?
It seems very
like you would think that there would actually.
It's a little theatrical.
You'd think there wouldn't be like an actual beam. You would think it would just distort.
Yeah,
like
or scramble something.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think it'd be like a light beam, like a laser.
No,
because that's a light beam. But this wouldn't be a light beam. This would be something else. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess when they show back up, we can ask them.
We can.
But
what's up with your beam?
Yeah, wait, what's going on with your beam, Mary? I was looking out the window there, and I was talking to Marge. Well, you know Marge, from down at DMV. And I was talking to Marge, and I said to her, hey, Marge, there's a goddamn beam outside. And she's like, a beam? And I was like, yeah, coming off the UFO.
It was a big red beam.
There's a big red beam coming off the UFO. And, Marge, she down there, she just went down with the girls down at the salon there, every Thursday. And they just
get their permanent.
They get their permanent done, and they're just doing their yippity yap. They do they love the yippity yap down there at the salon, Marge and the gals. And I was just like, hey, Marge, there's a beam out there, Marge. And she said, well, okay. What are we fucking doing? Okay.
The Adventures of Marge and the Big Blue Beam.
Jesus Christ. This is why we need to start a Patreon. Then we could just do a series about Marge.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, dear Marge.
Just her constant encounters with aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Haphazardly.
Oh, they must have abducted Marge like 17, 18 times, and then she's just like, oh, well, they want a probe. They got a probe. She's like, oh, I'd be so.
But she's used to it now.
She's used to it, She
expects it.
She loves it, It's like, oh, it's not even my birthday or nothing, And so I'm like, Marge, they got a beam.
I mean, she's getting probed 2-3 times a week.
I tell you, You should have seen her face when I told her they got a beam. She's like, is it the 6 or 8 inch one? And I was like, no, it's a big one. And she's like, oh, 13. I'm like, no, Marge, you don't get it. It's like the size of a house. And she's like, oh, I love a challenge, And I'm just like, what the fuck, Marge? I don't know.
All right, I think we rescued that bit.
Yeah, there it was. There it was. Thank you. Anywho, okay. So, Air Force Base. To recap this one, there was a bunch of people that fucking saw this.
Yeah.
Like, and these are, again, trained military people. And especially, like, in 1967, like, listen, this isn't something that these people would want to actually admit to.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of people that say that they like don't come forward and talk about the shit they've seen
because people will think they're crazy.
Yeah, and in fear, like career ending. It could, you know, that's why the government just put into that last National Defense Act whistleblower protections. You know, people are scared to come forward. I mean, you don't want to be the guy that you don't want to be the alien guy.
No,
especially if you want to be taken serious.
That's very true.
You know, so. You know, especially with this amount of people coming forward and the fact that we saw it, there was a beam march, and they also had this fucking shutdown. You know, I mean, how scary is that? There was a moment in time where if the president picked up the red phone, you know, and was like, launch, we'd have to be like, no.
Yeah. And especially during that time when we were under the threat of that.
Yeah. Now, could this have been some sort of Soviet Union tech?
It's
possible.
Entirely possible.
It's possible.
You'd think they would have, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, you think they would have used it more. But, I mean, it was evidently, if it was a successful test.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the only time that this has happened, where a UFO sighting and some fuckery has happened at a missile complex. All right. We're going to jump a little farther ahead. And we're going to leave the U.S.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get
on
out.
Traveling.
We're going to go, we're going to hop the pond, as they say. Hope you bring a jacket, because we're going to the Soviet. We're going to Ukraine. We're going to Byelokoroviche.
Byelokoroviche?
Chi. Yeah. Byelokoroviche.
Byelokoroviche.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Cool.
Yep. We're going to that place in the Ukraine. Okay? Now, this incident that we're going to talk about occurred in 1982. Now, this is a lesser-known incident, but it's still fascinating, okay? It took place in the town of that place.
The Byelokoroviche.
Which is located in the Zhytomyr region of what is now known as Ukraine. This is happening in Ukraine. At the time, Ukraine was still a part of the Soviet Union, and this incident added to the growing list of UFO encounters reported in the Eastern Bloc during the Cold War era. There was a lot of UFO encounters that happened during that time, which makes sense.
That makes sense.
We're stockpiling nukes.
Yep.
And sightings start piling up and piling up. Well, on the night of October 4th, 1982, a group of soldiers stationed at a Soviet military base near that place.
Byelokoroviche.
One more time.
Byelokoroviche.
Oh, wait.
Byelokoroviche.
It's perfect.
It's not easy to pronounce.
It's perfect. So, those people were going about their routine duties when suddenly they noticed a bright, glowing object in the sky. Now, the object appeared to be a large, disc-shaped craft that emitted a powerful, pulsating light. Intrigued, and of course alarmed, the soldiers immediately reported the sighting to their superiors. The base's air defense system were put on high alert as the mysterious object approached the military installation. Attempts to establish radio contact with the craft are unsuccessful, and it became soon apparent that this was not an ordinary craft. So, for all the Star Trek nerds out there, they tried to hail them.
The what?
They tried to hail them. You know? Hail them. Hail them, number one. You know? Or like, Spock, you need to hail them. Put them on screen. You've got to, mister. I don't know.
But they tried to establish communication with it.
They tried to establish. Attempts to establish radio contact was unsuccessful. And so the situation escalated when the UFO began to interfere with the base's electrical systems, causing power outages and rendering critical equipment inoperable. Now, as the situation unfolded, the base commander ordered a group of soldiers to approach the craft and investigate. It's apparently low enough they could do this. As they drew near, the soldiers reported experiencing strange physical sensations, such as tingling and numbness, as well as a feeling of intense heat. Now, fearing for their safety, the commander ordered the soldiers to retreat, and throughout the night, the UFO continued to hover over the base. Now, its intentions, of course, unclear. Now, the following morning, as the sun rose, the object suddenly vanished, leaving behind a baffled and shaking group of witnesses. In the aftermath of the incident, an official investigation was launched to determine the nature of the craft and the potential threat to the military. Now, what they don't get into is while the craft was overhead, it got put on high alert because the craft, when it started messing with things, turned on the nukes.
Turned theirs on.
Turned them on. Activated them. They were getting ready to fucking launch, and the base command had to go in and issue the override command and turn them back off.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah. So this incident remains a fascinating and really just crazy event in the UFO history, highlighting potential impacts, of course, for encounters on military installations and different security. Now, as with most all the other UFO incidences out there, no one knows what it was about, but it's a very similar situation to Malmstrom, but backwards.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like, how did that story get out? I mean, this is behind the Iron Curtain. This is taking place. And I mean, obviously a lot has come out since that was all broken up, but still, it's like, how did this story get out? When did this story come out?
That's a good question. That's a good question. But I mean, the thing about these stories is regardless of how and when they came out, they're verifiable because they come out through like official leaks, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not just like someone saying that it happened. It's like, oh, we're reading it because we're reading an official document. A document that leaked.
Okay.
You know, so it's not just like hearsay stories. There's substance to all of it.
Yeah.
You know, the Malmstrom incident that we started off with here, that one, you can, I mean, now it's all over the internet. You can find it, but you could very much FOIA if you wanted from the horse's mouth. All these incident reports from that incident and get them straight from the government. They'll send them to you. It's your right as a citizen that you can get them if you want. You know, and hell, if they're only a few pages, I don't even think it costs you anything. I think depending on the scope of it, you know, so if you just wanted to get like that guy's statement, the Robert Salas' statement, you could easily submit for it and get it and read it, and you know what I mean, and it's from the government.
Did they say anything about a beam in the Soviet one?
No.
The big blue beam.
No blue beam, bleep bloom bloom.
It was a beam and it was blue.
It was big blue beam. Listen, Marge, I tell you, Marge.
I tell you, Olga.
Olga.
Yeah, Olga, I think, is Russian for Marge. That's Russian for Marge.
I tell you, Marge, is a big red beam there. But yeah, so I liked the juxtaposition of these two stories, and the you know, of the comparison, because you have, they're both over ICBM sites, but I mean, they both have the same kind of thing, right? They see the pulsating craft thing in the sky over the silos. And then, but one, you have it literally shutting down everything, turning it all off.
Yeah.
And one, you have turning it all on and activating shit. It's almost like they're sending a message. I mean, it's pure speculation, right? But speculation could either be one of two things or maybe both. One being like, hey, quit fucking around with nukes.
Yeah.
Or two, your nukes don't scare us. We're in control of your nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're great. Like we've evaluated your planet, and this is your greatest weapon.
Yeah.
And we can control it at our will.
Yeah.
You know, or like I say, hey, quit fucking around with them. If we think back to the school episode,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we had the Zimbabwe school.
All the children saying the same thing.
The aerial school. Yep. The aerial school. All the children said the same thing. They were given a warning that technology and whatnot and nuclear and whatnot will be our destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, hey, James Cameron had it in T2. We're destined to destroy ourselves.
That's true. We are.
We're not going to make it, are we?
People, I mean.
People.
It is in your nature to destroy yourselves. Yeah, Miles Dyson. She's going to blow him away. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Oh, still the greatest action movie ever made.
Oh, fucking great.
So good. But so those are two fun. There were many more that we'll cover later on in life. But there are many, many incidences of UFOs and sightings from over military bases.
Yeah.
Just like we've covered with, fighter pilots and whatnot, seeing them having different sightings. Eventually we'll talk about some submarine sightings, USOs, because that's
I haven't heard anything about those,
yep.
so I'm very interested to hear about those.
That'll be something coming down episodes as well. That's a good one. I'll find one about that. Because that's a big thing. Sometimes some even say there might be
the abyss, and I love the abyss.
It's kind of the thing about these UFOs, right, is they label them transmedium craft.
Yeah,
transmedium. They can go through space. They can go through our atmosphere, and they can go through the oceans, the water, and they can go through all three. Like none of it. Like it's all the same. Like water doesn't.
Flight of the fucking Navigator.
It's Flight of the Navigator. That's
all
exactly.
roads lead back.
All roads lead back to Flight of the Navigator. And JFK, I think. I think we said that at one point too.
We might have.
All roads lead back to JFK. But yeah, so that is today's episode. I hope you did enjoy it. And we will get, like I said, more into sightings and whatnot with the different aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like these two, the juxtaposition of these two, with the one turning everything off and the one turning everything on. And I mean, 1982, that ain't that long ago.
Nope.
That ain't that long ago. So, I mean, and now if you look at what's happening right now with all the shit in the sky, it's kind of relevant.
A little bit.
Kind of relevant. So, be sure you guys keep your ear to the ground. And like Casey Kasem says, keep your ear to the ground and your eyes on the sky. I'm Jake.
I'm Lindsay.
Goodbye.